Last night, the triumphant return of the product herself.
Because you is part of the problem. You're lying to the people, and you're supposed to be looked upon as a person.
Angel Reese finally got back on the court after weeks away. She probably thought everyone was just itching to see her, right? Like, what's up with this back injury? What's really going on? But instead, she walked out to silence, empty seats, and honestly, a lot of hate from the fans.
You made so many people that squeezed in just a mere
And look, it wasn't just the fans not showing up that was embarrassing. She struggled big time in the game. Then losing to the Seattle Storm? That made her a complete laughingstock right there on live TV.
Angel Reese is the most...
Now, if you think back a couple months, Angel Reese was taking all the credit for those sellout crowds. She was saying everyone came just to see her. And yeah, the arena was full, that's true. But here's the thing, it wasn't because of Angel Reese. People were just there because the tickets were super cheap. That's it.
You send me a few pictures and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when...
But Angel Reese? Nah, she completely refused to acknowledge any of that. She kept claiming she was the reason the WNBA was even surviving and why the Chicago Sky were doing so well. She just had this super arrogant mindset when she stepped out to play against the Seattle Storm. Remember, she'd been off the court for a while, saying she had a back injury.
Angel Reese finally made her...
So, when she finally came out onto the court, she genuinely thought everyone was just waiting on pins and needles for her. She expected her fans to be everywhere, ready to give her that queen treatment. But what actually happened? That really shocked her. Only about 6,124 fans bothered to show up.
Only 6,724 fans showed up to the Wintrust Arena. Yeah, it holds about 9,500 fans, so we're talking roughly...
Wintrust Arena holds 9,500 people, right? So let's just do some quick math here. That means over 2,700 seats were just embarrassingly empty. That's not a sellout. That's not even close to a respectable near sellout. Honestly, those are like Wednesday night bowling league numbers.
She said, "I'm so happy to be back playing the game that I love."
We all really thought Angel Reese's big return to Chicago would be this huge, Beyonce-level, once-in-a-lifetime thing. You know, the kind of event where the doors at Wintrust Arena would be practically bursting open, scalpers outside flipping tickets for crazy prices, fans practically clawing at the gates just to get a peek at the cheap Barbie in action. At least that's what all the hype kept promising us. But reality? Yeah, it hit harder than a rookie landing flat on the hardwood.
It was literally only
standing room only for the big comeback game. Nope. The court looked more like a really sad high school pep rally. This self-proclaimed double-double queen was supposed to put Chicago on the map, but the return she hyped up so much didn't even fill a medium-sized arena. Honestly, Caitlin Clark's preseason games had more energy in the building than this supposed marquee moment. Can you imagine being the it girl of the WNBA and still needing a Groupon code to fill seats? So, the big question is, why are fans turning their backs on Angel Reese? What's making them so annoyed with her? Well, it all really started with her big disappearing act.
In all honesty,
it's just getting old at this point. Whenever Angel saw her hype dipping, or if the team was losing because of her, she'd pull her most predictable move, just walking out on the Chicago Sky without even a heads up. It makes fans furious. Her teammates are stunned, but honestly, is anyone really shocked anymore? Quitting has just become her brand. It's not an accident now, it's literally who she is. And when people asked why she disappeared, she pulled the classic back injury excuse. Of all the injuries out there, isn't it kind of hilarious that Angel's problem is her back? The same back that she claims has been carrying the Sky all season. I'm telling you, her back isn't broken from carrying the team, it's broken from carrying the weight of her own hype. Fans aren't buying it, they totally see through the timing and the excuses. Yeah, an injury can be real, but using it like a stage prop every single time you want out, that's called a pattern.
The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, a Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans.
Let's be real here. Angel Reese isn't playing for the Sky. She's playing for Instagram. She's playing for endorsement deals and her own image. Every single possession looks less like actual basketball and more like a dress rehearsal for her next social media post. The difference between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese couldn't be clearer. One is genuinely building a career. The other is building a brand and just praying nobody notices the difference. But WNBA fans are not fools. Angel Reese? She might have totally tapped out. Clark's numbers scream greatness. Reese's numbers just whisper. Maybe next year. The only reason she's even in the conversation at all is because she's loud, she's flashy, and she's perfect for clickbait, not because she's actually dominating on the court. Fans are totally done pretending otherwise, and that's exactly why we've seen fans getting angry at the Indiana Fever when they saw Caitlin Clark missing from the court.
And it looked like the Indiana Fever front office is caught red-handed.
Everyone just believes that Clark would never vanish on her own, not like that. So they immediately turned their attention to the Indiana Fever, and they started spotting lies in their press conferences. The officials kept claiming that Clark was suffering from an injury, and that's why she couldn't play in various games.
And it looked like more footage has been released as to the Indiana Fever actually.
But fans totally caught the front office red-handed. They were fumbling around with Clark's injury reports, like they were trying to rewrite a bad soap opera script. First, they claimed it happened on August 7th. Fans were like, okay, sure, and they went back and watched that entire game super closely, and then bam, it made them furious. Why? Because they saw Caitlin walking around perfectly fine that day, swinging her bag like she was about to hit a runway, not an MRI machine. So yeah, sure, Fever, tell us again how she magically injured herself that exact day. The whole cover-up just stinks, and the fans know it. They're furious, because this isn't just about an injury, it's about being straight up lied to.
Part of the problem. You're lying to the people, and you're supposed to be looked upon as a person we can count on for credibility and to keep.
Fans just love Caitlin, and they're saying she's the whole reason they even show up. Without her, Wintrust Arena looks like an empty high school gym. So they want her playing in the game, not stuck behind some political stunts. And honestly, this is a real slap in the face for Angel Reese. Because remember, whenever fans said they were coming to a game because of Clark, Reese would totally spin the narrative and say it was her fans' love that filled the seats. But then in that game where Clark was absent but Reese was present, fans didn't even bother to come. They were just done with her disappearing patterns and her whole attitude.
She's experiencing a back injury. Her back is literally hurting. And is it because that she is tired of carrying the weight of...
True leaders? They take responsibility when things go wrong. Caitlin Clark has shown that so many times. But Angel Reese? She's the exact opposite. She dodges accountability like it's a full court press. Seriously, she just shrugs, rolls her eyes, and acts like everyone else is the problem. Meanwhile, the Sky were somehow dumb enough to hand her the keys to the franchise. And what did she do with them? She drove it straight into a ditch. Fans don't want a passenger, they want a driver. And Reese doesn't even want to sit behind the wheel. But she was still naive enough to actually believe that fans loved her. So during her whole disappearing act era, she was dreaming about launching her own shoe business that would somehow beat Michael Jordan's Air Jordans.
Here that she expects to sell shoes in a way that...
Yeah, so apparently the Chi Barbie now wants her very own signature shoe, and she has ambitions that it'll be the next huge cultural phenomenon, right up there with Michael Jordan's Air Jordans. You know, the most iconic sneaker line in the entire history of sports. Dreaming this big's pretty delusional, honestly. Because let's be real, to have a signature shoe that actually sells, you need three main things: massive star power, global influence, and fans literally lining up around the block just to wear what you wear.
That's right, Angel Reese chasing.
And here we have Angel, who can't even get her own team's arena to 75% capacity. Let's just say she's way closer to selling discount flip-flops at Walgreens than she is to revolutionizing the sneaker game.
She actually made a comment about these. Quote, "Just like how they wear Jordans everywhere, I want people to wear the Angel Reese ones everywhere and to just be
And look, this isn't even meant to be shade, it's just straight up reality. Jordan turned his name into a global empire because he was the game. Generations literally worshipped him. Reese, on the other hand, has built her entire brand on Instagram captions and these fake tough girl antics that are already starting to lose steam with fans. So when you can't even fill a 9,500 seat arena for your big return, you might want to pump the brakes on comparing yourself to the Jumpman.
That floor general and that floor leader, did the Chicago Sky break?
And as if all that wasn't humiliating enough, Angel Reese's actual performance just made her even more of a laughingstock among fans. Her big comeback moment ended with the Sky coughing up a 94-88 loss to the Seattle Storm. That's right, all that build-up, all the drama, and the result was just another L in the column. Nothing really says I'm back quite like letting the Storm just waltz out of Wintrust Arena with a win, does it? Now sure, on paper 19 points and 7 rebounds sound decent, but let's not pretend this was some flawless dominance. Reese is still the most blocked player in the entire WNBA, essentially a walking target for defenders who have pretty much figured out her every single move.
Angel Reese is the most blocked player in the WNBA.
And her easy layups? They're making her a joke in the arena. She totally clanked those too, because what's a Reese highlight reel without a few missed bunnies just to keep things humble? And shooting 69% sounds all shiny and great until you realize half of those shots were putbacks that should have been automatic points, no problem.
Now try to make a layup. Good luck with...
On top of all this, Reese's inflated confidence really just ticks fans off. She struts onto the court with this whole aura, like she's already carved out a Hall of Fame legacy, when in reality, she's just carving bricks into the backboard, plus her eye rolling, the shoulder shrugs, and smirking at others. That just gives her a bad girl aura instead of looking like a professional WNBA player.
Has she trademarked that yet, Bricklayer Barbie? I don't know.
I mean, seriously. And the problems that come with her don't even end there. The real drawback was the ripple effect on her own teammates. Take Camila Cardoso, for example. She had really been finding her rhythm, shining brightly in Reese's absence then. Angel comes back, and just like clockwork, Cardoso's numbers go down. Her stats dipped the moment Reese stepped back onto the floor, almost as if Angel's presence doesn't elevate the team at all, but actually drags down their whole flow. I mean, being the star whose return makes your teammates worse? That's not leadership, that's just sabotage with a headband.
If I'm Cardoso, I'm wanting out of Chicago.
Reese isn't this unstoppable force she sells herself as. She's more like a stat pattern with some really glaring weaknesses. Sure, she'll rack up a few rebounds and drop a handful of points here and there, but we should all remember, she's also the most blocked player in the WNBA. That means she has the kind of dominance where her highlight reel doubles as her opponents. So instead of the Bayou Barbie everyone was promised, fans are getting a totally downgraded version. We're talking Bricklayer Barbie now. A self-hyped star whose biggest achievement might just be convincing people to keep talking about her, even while her game keeps proving otherwise. Caitlin Clark is just much better than her, and she's totally winning the hearts of WNBA fans.